At least in the last couple that we saw.
They should be anti-stratting for the pistol, but Frankie, take it away.
Endpoint stocking up on their utilities there, but EURONICS haven't gone for any. Just going for heavy firepower. Heavy firepower.
Other than the kit and the smoke.
Oh yeah, they hadn't bought that when I said that.
They may have done. It's domination though, Frankie. It's all coming up the side of EURONICS right now. Only 2 players left for Endpoint.
Yeah,
I told you they'd go aggressive.
Frankie was so impressed with that pistol rush. He was shocked into silence. But it is going to be Cressy to find another. And while Shiki's got a little bit of utility, unfortunately he doesn't have the bomb. They won't give it a chance to set things up, and if anything, just the sheer aggression from EURONICS. Maybe they've realized that they're being countered and went, okay, you want to counter us, we'll do something so ridiculous that there's no way you could have ever seen this coming.
Wow.
The counter. The counter top.
Did you collect milk tops as a child, Tom?
No.
Did you collect stamps? You look like a stamp collector.
See, my gran collected a load of stamps, and then when she sadly passed, just gave me a collection of like thousands of stamps. I was like, I've no idea what I'm going to do with this, but still got it somewhere.
So you do collect stamps, in a way?
I haven't added any to the collection.
You've not added any collection?
No. But I have a big collection.
You can gamble those on Gamdom.com.
trade in your stamps.
Do you have any rare stamps?
I wouldn't know if they were rare.
They could be.
I wonder if you could upgrade your stamps for better stamps, like you can do with skins on Gamdom.com.
Maybe that could be the niche. That's the new game mode. Stamp up.
Stamp up. That sounds good. Stamp up 2.
Is it raining again?
It's raining again.
Is it lots of rain today?
There is lots of rain today. We already just gave away 1 million coins, and now we've got even more to give away on Gamdom.com.
Wow. Head on over there.
Can you log into your account?
Have I logged into my account?
Yeah, can you do it here?
I don't think you can log into your account via Steam, which is what you've got in your computer right now.
Yes, you can.
You can?
Yes, that's how you log into Gamdom.
Brilliant.
Via Steam.
There you go.
Right there. Back in the action. Frag's coming through. It's actually looking pretty good for EURONICS in terms of the damage that has been done from the UMP. It's only Thomas and Shiki that remain, and no bomb plant, no chances. They are going to get finished off. You alright, Tom?
I've been taught a lesson. Here we go. Not much, if anything, invested for Endpoint here. Just Pulse with a P250. And I'm going to be interested to see if they can sort of, like we spoke about them building confidence, getting off to a strong start. And we saw that in the first map, like 8-1 up. Then we see EURONICS start to grind things back a little bit and really build into the game. And then they had another strong start on the other side. This time, they're the ones having to try and come back for what is a bit more of a detrimental position. Obviously just losing the pistol, so I doubt they're going to be too hard done by. But they're not going to have all that extra economy, extra utility, and that will be in the EURONICS camp this time, on their map choice as well.
Yeah, this is going to be where they should be favoured in terms of actually having the consistency there. And obviously being aware now that Endpoint seem to have actually got their number and anti-stratted them. They've adapted their playstyle, playing a little bit more loose and not going for the default pistols that we saw in the prior round or the follow-up rounds, just playing those SMGs. And that it was all 3 rounds picked up off the back of the pistol. Now Endpoint can go for the investment, but this first buy round is really going to tell the tale of how it could potentially go.
Yeah, they do have a big advantage in this round, but that is because this is a bonus. Look at KZ, 8.5k post-buy. I sense an AWP might be coming in the next round, unless they just manage to win this one flawlessly. But you'd hope for Endpoint's sake that they're at least going to be able to steal this one away. But you can see something a little bit audacious coming in. Quick trade, Faven gets 1 and actually a second, and the CT side have come out with a man advantage. It doesn't last long though, as Mighty Max brings it back into a 2v2.
He's a mighty man, he's young and he's in his prime, and he finds that first frag, and they're looking for a little bit more as well. They want to go for a burst out on the A site. Cressy up top, the rotate from Merbit, taking a substantial amount of time, but it doesn't matter as Lazar already been taken down, pounded upon by the hailstorm of bullets from Cressy's M4 there. Max on the cross gets very low, but does get the kill. Is Max just going to go for a wild play and attempt to force the issue? Murbit might not be ready for it. Max only on 5 HP, but couldn't actually find the frag. Is killed. EURONICS win that one out. And they played it safe as well. They didn't overinvest, so they have tons and tons of money for this round, Tom.
Yeah, that was a bonus round of like quite a high margin as well. That wasn't like they, oh, we bought up a couple of rifles, we invested into the AWP. They kept all the SMGs they had, and now have come in with a flawless spy. What is this? That's a misfire.
I don't think that was intentional for
that.
Cheeky,
Yeah,
no.
that has got to be a misfire, and that's a painful misfire. That is going into the next round. He is going to be in a little bit of trouble when it comes to cash. So, yeah, not the best start. Thomas will now have a P90 and Kevlar, which again makes me feel a little bit sick in the mouth, but as opposed to sick anywhere else. But yeah, this is not what you want to be seeing, especially as he doesn't have head armor either. So it's not even like he can get away with spraying and praying. But Pulse does manage to pick off one. They can still look to make things a bit costly. Of course, EURONICS have built up a huge amount of cash so early in the game. Still got the AWP, although shots start to be missed as a chance, and Thomas with the P9. He does go with the drive-by and at least gets rid of Murbit. I'm sure he's very surprised, and actually, all in all, a bomb plant here, that's not bad.
Ooh. Pulse somehow stays alive on 3 HP. You can play in the close angle with the Deagle as well. It still delays the push ever so slightly because Faven has to take that peek. Will kill him. Max and Shiki remain, and they're trying to play together, but the bomb is down. They're going to be swarming the site as well and trying to go through that defuse shortly. Still not on the bomb just yet, though. Clearing their angles. They take the fight to Mighty Max, and Cressy will finish him. Shiki grabs the M4. It might just be worth saving it and getting out of there as the round is over. Going to tuck in and hope that he can barely scrape through, as he will get out of that one with the M4.
And that will actually sort of rectify the mistake that was made earlier, as he will now have a rifle. And that, yeah, actually that's advanced there by quite a bit, because even going into the next round, if they lose this one, all the bonus cash actually gives them another buy. Now, obviously that's not what they're going to be thinking about here. Like, oh yeah, great lads, if we lose another one, we can still buy, but it's still a factor to say the least. However, they're not going to want to allow EURONICS to get the same sort of streak that they had in the previous map. Laza set up nicely, standing on the head of his teammate, and it will put them ahead in this round.
EURONICS waiting for the push to come in. Murbit gonna find that kill on Mighty Max. Crispy as well with the flick out, tries to land the shot. Still trying to connect these tags, lowering their health ever so slightly. Fathom with a frag up onto Thomas. It's only three players that remain now for Endpoint. Taking the control towards mid. Pulse, you feel like normally you'd hit that shot. Not right now. Chrissy will kill him.
Yeah, problematic scenario, and Cressy just looking to buy time for the rotation. Already Shiki will be lost, and I don't think we've seen a single bit of team play other than that boost in this round. Every single player took a 1v1 fight. This is not looking like the same Endpoint from the previous map. Because that was literally it. It was Max pushed alone, then Thomas pushed alone, then who was it? Was it Shiki next? Either way, it was 1 by 1 by 1.
Yeah.
And every duel was won by EURONICS.
Just going for the aggression. Seeing if those plays work out, Tom, but not really going too fantastically for them. And Endpoint 6 rounds down already. This has been quite a rapid streak for EURONICS. Can they start to resurge? They need to. They've got to get something on this T side, or otherwise it's just going to be EURONICS just really crushing ahead and giving them a thrashing.
Yeah, minute 20 on the clock, and it's much more patient this time. Once again, we're going to see Endpoint try and exploit the mid control. This was something that I will say Game Agents did very effectively, but it was mainly just off momentum and like players being so aggressive. Kolor had an outstanding performance to have such an excellent T side, and I think it was Fleeve as well was playing very, very well. So it doesn't seem to be the case at Endpoint at the moment. They're not playing with ludicrous confidence and just running in and taking these fights they're trying to be a little bit more methodical, but so far it seems like that's working better for EURONICS. And also you've got to bear in mind that when a map like that happens, that you should sort of be winning for EURONICS side, they've probably done some sort of simple fixes to what they had before anyway.
Also the fact as well, Tom, I mean, it's that matchup. EURONICS, it was kind of odd because obviously it was a very slow start for Game Agents. Then there were tons of mistakes that started coming out, and the playstyle just flipped on its head. EURONICS were just being overwhelmed by the aggressive bursts, and there is no real aggression from Endpoint now. They're looking a little bit stagnant, they're playing quite stale, and they've lost the bomb as well. Faven had it, but Faven too busy caught up doing a bit of a dance to actually deal with what's going on and will be killed. And Thomas now back towards the site, 7 seconds. If he can get the bomb down, at least his cash, but instead wants to go for the fight as he's just going to sprint in. Tries to go for the kill, gets one, but then is killed by Murbit.
Was that after time?
He did die after time, yeah. Oh. That was the worst case scenario for Thomas there. I have no idea why he just didn't go for the bomb plant.
Yeah.
That actually makes no sense to me.
A bit like in the Bible, I'm doubting Thomas. And I'm sort of, yeah, questioning what happened in that round. It's not going to be, well, too much invested by anyone other than him. We might as well just throw in all the remaining cash that he has into this round. As he will just have to go in with something similar in this one. 7-0 though, and, well, that's someone who knows Endpoint fairly well. Would you say that this is the point where things start to go a little bit wrong? I suppose they have gone a little bit wrong, but where they start to just question things and get in each other's heads or their own?
Well, I mean, they've already gone wrong, Tom. As you said, like, they're already left in a horrible spot. The only thing is, you can always take it as, when you get into these scenarios, you play a best of 3. If you win first map and you've got 1 map up, you kind of don't have to get overly tilted. You can just be like, right, look, let's just take it as a best of 1. Ooh. But the restriction is, they might get a little bit frustrated. It's still not over by any means, and they're actually in this round as well. They're trying to see if they can pick it up. You've got 1 rifle on Pulse, 2 CZs, 1 for Shiki, 1 for Lazar. They've still got time. There's a minute on the clock. And EURONICS, they're running around playing a game of cat and mouse right now, just chasing each other.
Yeah, 45 seconds left to play with. They are just making sure all of these angles are clear into mid, but the position that they're going to take is not so clear. The path towards either of these sites is blocked by at least 1 member. In fact, over towards B, it's going to double down. Crispy going to take a little bit more of an aggro spot, but he does find the kill. And with 20 seconds left, the time is starting to tick away from Endpoint once again. It's been the biggest problem. Lazar has found an AWP, and a dink in from Shiki gives them a chance. They need to clear this man, and that's the bomb dropped. I think it's happened again. The time is just going to get the better of them. And Crispy closes the round with a triple. 8-0, pause called. Thomas obviously going to be in a little bit of trouble in terms of economy, but other than that, everything is Gucci. And he could even get an AK without any head armor if he really wanted to.
At least they've actually gone for a pause to talk this over and try and work out how they adapt, what's going wrong, and where you actually restructure things from here, because it's not looking amazing at all right now. You're 8 rounds down. Thomas, because the round where he just went straight in and decided to push them rather than going for a bomb plant and seeing if he could get anything out of it, he got screwed over in terms of his economy. He's left on 3.4k. They're going to buy up around it, but Thomas will probably just have armor CZ, maybe a UMP. He's actually going to go for the armor AK buy. I mean, he had just enough, but it means no utility at all.
Yeah, we are going to have, again, a few limitations, but ultimately it doesn't seem to matter what Endpoint have had in these last few rounds. It has been all a show of EURONICS. 8-0 up at the moment. Dominating performances across the board. And all of the players that were stepping up and dominating in the previous map have taken their leave. Cash seemingly edging that way towards EURONICS. 8-0 up. There needs to be some sort of response, and there needs to be one now as Endpoint. Well, we spoke about EURONICS and how their CT side was weak. At the moment, it's looking dominant. First pick comes in. Murbit can trade one back, but this time the man advantage does go the way of Endpoint. The best round, or the best chance of round they've had so far. And in fact, this time their read is on point. It's Crispy left trying to hold off the cross, but can't get anything done. Now, still plenty of money for the CT side, of course, no matter what happens into this round. So I do wonder if they're going to try and challenge this.
Well, Max, he has the smoke. He can extinguish the Molotov. Instead, just going to be waiting. And then try and go for that bomb plant. But Max has been killed by Crisby. Now you're into a 3v3. Thomas has to cross to the site to get the bomb. That should be another free pick. Crisby misses the shot. In the meantime, Lazza has finished off Favon. It's only Cressy and Crisby left. They're getting picked to pieces. Pulse with a headshot up on Cressy. And Crisby going to look to try and strike with the AWP. The bomb is down, Tom. And he's going into the unknown.
Chances of him winning this are slim to none, and Thomas just going to dodge and weave past his opponent. It will be their first round on the board. Now, they've done it in a manner where they have actually got a little bit of extra cash to spare. So the chance of the reset is slightly slimmer, but still in a bit of a dangerous spot, and the scoreline is what's most worrying. Now, we've seen plenty of teams turn around back. In fact, we can even talk about the sort of 7-0 scoreline we saw earlier on Nuke, and MMI managing to bring that back to an 8-7. But maybe Endpoint can channel their inner French side, although I don't think that's something you'd normally ask a Brit to do.
Probably not.
Can you channel your inner French?
C'est la vie.
Oui.
There you go. So that would have been good if I didn't say anything, that Frankie just came in out of nowhere. They would have known nothing. Murbit. He's waiting for the push. He's keen for it. Shiki up top. The Molotov storms in towards the vent. Shiki goes for the face out, but peeks through. Murbit gets the frag. Nearly the follow-up on Lazza as well. The timing could be awful. Has to try and extinguish the Molotov that has landed near his footsies as he holds his angle, Tom, but the push is coming. Mid-control is under attack.
Well, again, the man advantage sits with EURONICS, and not much achieved by Endpoint. They've got 40 seconds left, and they have very little control. The only man to really watch is Mighty Max, who's trying to sneak in towards that B site. The multiple players around him. Pulse will find one. Trade back in. Max now looks to entry into the site, but there's still multiple players here, and KZ is the snake in the grass. He's found 2 quick kills. Thomas gets the bomb down, which should give them somewhat of a buy, but he's not surviving here. 9-1, straight back into the game are EURONICS, and they are looking incredible. I can see why they wanted this cash play. Maybe they've also bamboozled their opponents by taking their foot off the gas after knowing they were through. Also known as the Frankie Special.
They're looking good. So obviously they've just been able to crash through the majority of these rounds, and if they can keep this up, Tom, cash should definitely be theirs at this point. Molotovs go in, they're going to set ablaze to the roof here. If they do go for the boost over, mid-control will be restricted for Endpoint, and here comes the push from KZ as well, out early, looking to see if anyone's by Sunroom, and they have just been storming in.
Murbit again is going to kick things off with that opening pick. He's definitely looking like he's back with a vengeance after a poor performance in the previous map. Faven even carries off another, but Max has sprung into life, and quickly he gets 3 kills with Pulse alongside him on a 4th. KZ, the only one left. Now there shouldn't be a chance from here, but Max is low. He's got an incendiary. He can even look to clear out some of the angles. The smoke will allow the T's to cross, but I like it. It's almost used as a bait. They've thrown it down to say, hey, we could be anywhere over on this other side, but they both stuck towards the default and quad positions. And that's exactly what KZ's thinking about. He's like, okay, there must be someone over here. They wouldn't just clear it for no reason. However, that incendiary is going to force Max out. He's already low on HP. Catches the first spot's Lazza, but Lazza is just able to trade. The CT side money now takes a hit as well. But surely after bringing it down to just 1, yeah, they're going for it. No fear from EURONICS, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, they just pump the money back into it. They're going to go for the gamble and hope that it pays off. they're going to go for the gamble and hope that it pays off.
So what are your opinions? I've turned this around. Go on, what do you think about this?
What are my opinions right now? Well, I think that there's not really much Endpoint can do to bring this back. I think EURONICS have outclassed them in every way, and yeah, Endpoint are going to be lucky if they can get their poops in a group.
Wow.
Group back up and actually storm it.
I thought I was meant to be the mean one.
I don't think I was too mean. Well, I mean, they've only won 2 or 3 of those rounds.
They won the last 2.
Exactly, and also EURONICS chained 8 before they even got a look in. So I'm not really sure how their economy's doing.
I believe in the UK.
It's not that I don't believe in the UK.
I think more than anything, at this point, it might just be worth looking towards sort of Overpass as the map where they'll really be able to...
the end point.
Yeah, the end point of their careers.
I just meant of this map.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's potential. Obviously, it depends really how these next few rounds go. Obviously, they've got the second half as well. If they can get something back on their CT side, there might be something there for them, but T side is looking pretty stagnant. They're just getting red quite easily. And also for EURONICS, it seems like they did realise after the first map, they're like, well, they're anti-stratting us. Let's just play aggressive. Let's just switch it up. There's no reason just playing default. And Endpoint haven't really been able to counter that.
We're ready to go back into game.
I will say, though, that in terms of counters, though, surely that's going to be a little bit easier when you go onto the sort of CT side. You can work out some of the strategies, maybe.
Yeah.
The problem is they've kind of been wrecked. 10-2. Did we miss a round, didn't we?
Yeah, carried on, mate.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I was like, I'm sure they had guns.
No, yeah, they died. They lost that. So obviously EURONICS now go up from 9 to 10. Endpoint still on 2, but with no cash. Probably going to be an 11-2 before you really know it, as they're going to push out towards the side, but obviously you don't have much, so EURONICS win that round as you'd expect. That'll give them the extra one to play with. 11-2, and so, I mean, if they don't get at least some kind of momentum going, they're not even going to get to play their first gun round out on that CT half.
Yeah, and well, the problem is, again, now they can't buy. It's a shame, because I think the round before, the one that we missed, was actually really close. It looks like Crispy had a great round. Crispy. I think I've called him Crispy every time.
He is quite crisp.
He's like a Frisbee that's crispy.
Is this one going to come back around, or...?
Well, that would be a boom.
Oh, yeah, it would be a... Frisbees just go, didn't they?
If you've got a Frisbee that comes back, that's impressive.
They kind of are very similar.
Yeah, but I thought the whole point was that it's curved. That's why it comes back, not just because...
Yeah. Circular.
Yeah. Otherwise, you could have, like, a ball that you throw that comes back as well.
You ever played Ultimate Frisbee?
I have not. Am I missing out?
It's quite good, yeah. It's quite good. Not as good as what's going on here, though, for EURONICS. Is stellar. They're just killing everyone, really. Merbit, he's back.
He really is. He's having an incredible performance. He is, what, I believe, 16? Yeah.
16 he's a bit older than that.
5. Actually, don't know. Good old Merbit. Doesn't have a picture. 21.
It's got a couple of years, though.
Wow. The best they can get is 3. They do say that 3 is the magic number. I actually don't know who said that, but somebody did. And it's going to be T's waiting patiently for the aggression. I think Shiki spotted Faven's push, but it's just going to be a deep smoke in. And that's the thing, EURONICS, I think they got to a point where just the respect just went. And now they're just taking map control without really doing too much about it. Like, to be all the way that far through a main after, what, 20, 30 seconds? That basically just means he ran straight in. Like, it wasn't like, oh, we threw a few flashbangs. We looked at it. It was just like, all right, I'm going to go A main. See you later. If there's someone there, I'll probably kill him.
Yeah.
Take complete control. And he was willing to push in towards T spawn. So I think EURONICS are just in full aggression mode. And I imagine at this point, maybe Shiki has ripped up his strategy book. It's just going to be the push towards the A site.
T-side looking a bit stale. Well, are they going to be able to get themselves back in the game somehow? Right now, grouped up towards the A site, but they're going to fall back and reposition. Lazza, by close mid, is going to thunderfoot his way along, so being a bit of an elephant, they're going to hear it, and they're going to rotate off as well, so it doesn't really matter that there's still a player on A. They shouldn't fall for it. Max runs straight into his demise as well. As KZ will kill him and look to continue the pain train as everyone is hitting the deck. It's only Lazar and Shiki that remain. Scratch that, it's just Shiki, and he is miles away. That is going to be another round for EURONICS. A 13-2 half is what they're going to achieve, and they are just dominating right now. If Endpoint don't get the pistol round, it is already going to be game.
Well, yeah, and the scariest thing about this is, it's like when we saw Endpoint succeeding, I would say that there was a couple of key players. Like we were looking at it going, okay, Pulse is just absolutely running away with it.
Yeah.
And then he had the support of, say, I think it was Thomas and Lazar. They were the two that I was looking at. On the other side of this, EURONICS, everybody, like 12 kills is the lowest we see at this server. Every single player has had their rounds. There's been no real response. The rounds haven't been close. They've just been dominant, and that's just scary. Like even going into what is now the CT side, like you have even two of these players continue on the T side, and I think Endpoint are still just probably going to be completely demoralized. I am starting to think of maybe just writing this one off and start planning for overpass.
Well, that's the thing, Tom. Just take it as best of ones. Kind of forget that it isn't that best of three. You know, you won your map pick. They're going to win their map pick. That's to be expected. You kind of don't want to get too tilted from it. You do know some teams that will actually get very down in the dumps about it if you do lose. Ooh, Max as well. That's going to be a tilter. That's one that's going to hit home. But this might be the game right here.
Yeah, I think it pretty much is. That was just, well, that showed how Endpoint has sort of played throughout this. It's not been the same team that we saw in the previous map. And I think they may have checked out a little bit early. Lazar is going to manage to get one back, maybe do a little bit of damage, earn some cash. Of course, he's the man normally saving up for the AWP. I would highly doubt that he will be in this scenario. They want to play for 15-2. Fair enough, like, respect to them for doing it, but I wouldn't be surprised to just see them force straight into this one.
Pulse already on for the CZ armor buy. Max as well going to follow suit. So they're going to buy up around this. Not looking forward to playing for the overtime, so instead just going to try and keep it going from the get-go. So CZ armor on basically everyone here.
Yep, the meta buy. Double Mac 10, a few rifles to boot. T-side being led by Merbit once again. Question whether or not his map was overpass, but he's definitely proving that he can play a bit of cash too. 20-5 at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if there was more to come. A 30 bomb probably would have come in if it wasn't for the fact that Endpoint are just not able to get themselves any rounds. Shiki will at least manage to close the door. They have gone for the stack over towards this A site, which is where the T's are pushing. Seem to have a decent read in this scenario. Aid going to be going over. That could do cataclysmic damage. It does onto Lazar. But Thomas still manages to find the opener. And I wonder if the T's are just going to continue this push into the stack site. This is a high-risk strategy. They haven't cleared things out properly, and Thomas gets another one, but the double spray, in fact. There's so many kills coming in there, I don't even know how many he got. I think it was 3 for Crispy in one spray. Mighty Max, all that remains. I can't say I believe.
Max with the damage done, finds the headshot, looks for a bit more, wants to try and make it a max round, but it's unlikely. He's going to Scarper and get away. That's the 15th round for EURONICS now achieved, and Max is playing for the exit frags at least, showing off the jump potential he has there, being able to land that one. Good mechanical skill, but no one is going to come his way.
Yeah, not really something to write home about at this point. Might be in his highlight reel for this map.
How's he giving it, Tom?
Do you know what I think he could use right now?
What?
A massage.
Probably. And that might wake them up a little bit. Give them what they need.
I know there's a few people offering.
Yeah? We'll send Frankie round to the Endpoint house before the next map.
They have a house?
Endpoint house, yeah.
All together?
I don't think everyone's there right now, but I think Max is there.
Just alone.
Just, yeah, pretty sure.
Is it just his house?
Endpoint just bought Max a massive house.
No, I mean just his house in general.
It's just the gaming house.
Come round. Well, pistols and the UMP actually doing some serious damage. They've been able to get themselves a bomb as well, so the teams don't really have a choice. And Shiki again, the smoke criminal, as he finds himself another. There's going to be a push back in from Faven, who managed to at least reduce the amount of damage that's done. And probably going to have to go for a bit of a safer bomb plant here, but Murbit spots the head. The pixel was enough. Shiki towering above that box. Now it's left onto Luzzer and Thomas. Murbit in a good position, spots out his opponent. Faven finds one. And I think this may be done. Luzzer trying to save it, but it just can't. A 16-2 domination. EURONICS, they bounce back.